Hi, everybody. It's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimalscom. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called Why Does My Dog Keep on Coughing? Collapsed Trachea in Dogs. This can be a pretty serious health issue if it's left untreated. It really can affect the quality of your dog's life, and it can also be threatening to your dog's life if it is left untreated. I had a miniature dachshund named Taz who had this very issue, and so I'm going to be using her in today's video as an example of some of the things to look for and the symptoms and things that you can do to help. During the video, we're going to talk about what this is. We're going to talk about what you can do to prevent it. We're going to talk about things you can do to help so that it doesn't get worse if your dog already has this condition. And we're going to talk about when you need to take your dog to the vet for this issue. So again, thanks so much for tuning in and watch the video. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you've been here before, you know I have a website called PeopleLovingAnimalscom. We're going to use this article on the website called Why Does My Dog Keep on Coughing? Collapsed Trachea in Dogs. I'm going to give you a link to this article in the description box of today's video so that if you wanted to go back and read more, or if you want to click on any of the things that we mentioned in this article, you'll be able to do that. I'm also going to give you a link in the description box to get a printable list of several common reasons why your dog might be coughing. Okay, collapsed trachea is one of them, but there are several other things that can be going on that are causing your dog to cough. So if you are suspecting that it might be collapsed trachea, but you're not sure and you want to look at what some of the other causes might be, go ahead and click that link in the description box and I will email you that list of common causes for dogs to be coughing. Now, today we're going to be focusing mostly on the collapsed trachea. Now, like I say, there's lots of reasons why your dog could be coughing. I do suggest that you go ahead and get that list that I'm giving you the link to so that you can help to get to the bottom of it. Like I said, I had a little miniature dachshund named Tazzy. She had collapsed trachea, and it always sounded like she was hyperventilating. It was one of those honking coughs, and like she was hyperventilating. It would happen most often either while she was pulling on the leash, or if she was scarfing down her food. Dachshunds are notoriously gluttonous, and she would eat so fast and she would start choking. And then it really became a problem where I was really worried for her because she would start this honking coughing, and it would take her longer and longer to recover from it. And so I took her to the vet, and it turns out she had collapsed trachea. Now, one of the very first things you need to do if your dog is coughing is to take your dog to the vet because, you know, it could be that your dog just has a bit of a sore throat or something. And if they're coughing mildly for one day, then maybe, okay, see if they're better tomorrow. But really, don't let it go any longer than a day because most of the time, if your dog is coughing, there's a reason, and there's a reason that will need medical intervention. They'll need some sort of help to get it solved. Okay. And if they're coughing, we're talking about breathing, okay? So it is very serious. So please, when in doubt, take your dog to the vet, okay? Now, what is collapsed trachea? It's where the trachea in the windpipe gets smushed, okay? Either it's crushed completely and you suffocate, or it's constricted and squished down so that air is not flowing. You're not breathing. That's what a collapsed trachea is. What are the symptoms of a collapsed trachea? Most common symptom is that honking sound. You may have heard your dog do it. That might be why you're on this video. That honking sound, a lot of times it happens when they're pulling on the leash, and it can also happen when they're eating too quickly. And it can also, I'm sorry, I'm going to need to adjust my screen here. And it also can happen just when dogs get overly excited because this trachea will become inflamed and it will close up, and then they have a hard time breathing. They'll be most apparent, like I said, when your dog is eating, when they're drinking, or when they get excited, or when they're walking on the leash. What are the causes of collapsed trachea? Veterinarians are not exactly sure why this happens. It's possible that it's a congenital abnormality. It happens in both male and female dogs, but it does happen most often in small dogs and toy breeds. Yorkshire Terriers have the highest instances of collapsed trachea. It can occur at any age and it can occur with any dog, but it's most common in middle-aged or senior dogs, and it's most common in small or toy breeds. How is collapsed trachea treated? Well, there's a few things that can be done. You know, your vet can recommend some things. For example, the first thing that my vet recommended when Taz was having this problem was that I get her a harness instead of a collar. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in this article, but I'll just show you a picture real quick. I'm talking about this, okay? A harness. And there's a picture of Taz in it. She has her little red harness on right there. That is one of the best things the vet said that you can do to help her with that issue, because instead of a collar, she has a harness on. So she's not pulling on the leash anymore. I had a lead for Taz out in my backyard where she could run like the length of this lead. And sometimes she would chase a rabbit or something. She'd pull herself right to the end of that thing. And, you know, she's squishing her throat, or some dogs will pull on the leash. According to my vet, that is the best thing you can do for a dog that has this issue, and also to prevent this from happening. Get your dog a harness instead of a collar right from birth, right from the time they're a puppy. It's better for a dog to be on a harness. And it's also better for a dog to be on a harness, especially if you're training them, because you have more control of a dog who's on a harness. You know, you've got more control of them than you do if they're just on a collar. So I'm going to give you a link in the description box to go ahead and get one of these harnesses. They're inexpensive. You can get them in all different colors, all different sizes. And this one, the brand is called Trachea. That's the link I'm going to give you, the one that I had for Taz. They're machine washable, so you can throw them in the washer and the dryer. And I had a couple different colors for her, and they're very, very easy to use. One of the other things that you can do is the vet might give your dog cough suppressants. They might give them something for inflammation, those sorts of things. But also you can help your dog by helping them to lose weight if they are overweight. A dog being overweight will make this issue worse, okay? So I don't think it'll necessarily cause this issue, but I suppose if your dog was like very obese, it might actually cause the issue, but it does irritate the issue and make it worse and make it more dangerous. So I'm going to give you a link in the description box for my article called How to Make the Dog Lose Weight. It does include a video. I want you, if your dog is overweight, please go to that article, watch the video in it, because don't just cut down your dog's food, okay? Don't just do that. You've got to do it in a way that's comfortable for the dog. The dog needs to have enough nutrition. They need to have enough fuel for their activities. Don't just put your dog on a drastic diet. That article that I'm giving you with the video, you're going to find a lot of really helpful tips in that, and it's quite easy to help your dog to lose weight. So that's something you can do to help them if they are suffering from collapsed trachea. Treating severe cases of collapsed trachea. Now, what they can do is, if the dog suffers from collapsed trachea and you're trying these different methods and the dog is not getting any relief and it's getting to the point where it's life-threatening for the dog, they can do surgery. And what they do is they will apply a prosthetic ring to the outside of the trachea to hold it open. I think of this in terms of like if somebody had heart surgery and they had a stent put into an artery that holds the artery open so the blood can flow. That's the way I think of it. That's no medical term. That's no medical theory. That's just how I picture it. My vet said that they could, if it became life-threatening for Taz, they could do that surgery and hold the trachea open so that the dog won't die, okay? This can be a life-threatening disease if it's not treated. So make sure you have your vet in on this, that you're doing these things on your own, finding out about all of this, but have your vet in on it, okay? Because you don't want to have a situation where something happens to your dog and it could have been prevented, right? But obviously you're doing the right thing because here you are and you're trying to find out about it. So I give you a lot of credit for getting on YouTube and trying to get some help with this issue. Can collapsed trachea be prevented? My vet recommended, like I said, that Taz be put on a harness instead of a collar. He recommended that that was one of the best things to help the situation and to keep it from getting worse. Again, I'm going to give you a link to purchase one of these harnesses on Amazon. They're inexpensive. Another thing that you can do is you can make sure that your dog is not around irritants that are going to, interfere with his breathing, such as smoke or dust. And also, again, make sure that the dog is maintaining a healthy weight. If your dog is overweight and they're suffering with this issue, please go ahead and read the article I'm giving you so that you can help your dog to lose weight. Now, there is an interruption in my article here, so I'm going to use it to interrupt the video briefly, and it is an invitation to go ahead and subscribe to my dog lovers email list if you would like to. For my website, PeopleLovingAnimalscom, I have a dog lovers email list and I have a cat lovers email list. If you are subscribed, about once a week or so, you'll get an article or a blog post or a video all about dogs or cats, depending on which email list you're on. You can be on both. If you want to be on both, go into this article, go into this little form, and it'll give you the choice where you can sign up for one or the other or both. By the way, if you put in your email address to get that printable list of reasons why your dog might be coughing in the description box, that link I give you, that puts you on my dog lovers email list, okay? So you won't have to sign up twice. But you can unsubscribe from that list at any time, but I think you'll find it pretty valuable. You'll get an email about once a week, all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So I'm going to give you a link, like I said, in the article in the description box to buy harnesses. I'm going to give you a link to a whole selection of different kinds of harnesses. This is the one I use for Taz. Like I said, machine washable. You can throw it in the dryer. Comes in different sizes, comes in different colors. It's kind of a stretchable sort of mesh fabric, so it was very comfortable on her. It was super easy to get on. You just put it over her head and then you snap it under the belly. Super easy to get on and off. And like I said, no matter if your dog's having a problem or not, give your dog a harness instead of a collar. It's more comfortable. You'll have more control over the animal, and it will save their throat. Okay? When should I visit the vet? If your dog develops a honking cough, then you should definitely make an appointment immediately. That's a pretty serious indicator, especially if your dog is a toy or a small breed. Don't panic. The condition is not as scary as it sounds. I used to be really terrified when Taz would do that honking and she's like hyperventilating and oh, I would panic. I'm like, she can't breathe. She can't breathe. And, and the thing is usually, within a few minutes, she would recover from it. She would be okay. I took her to the vet. There are things that you can do to help the situation. And it has to be pretty severe for them to actually have to do surgery and stuff. So I don't want to make you not take this seriously because it is a serious issue, but I also don't want you to be in full panic mode either. Now, what I did was when Taz would have an episode like that, like I said, I would just sit with her. I would just sit right down on the floor with her. I would pet her a little bit. I would just speak softly to her. Sometimes I would just rub her little neck a little and just help her to calm down. Because that's the best thing when they're having that, help them to calm down so that they'll relax their throat so they can begin to breathe again. Okay, that's what I did. I hope that this article was helpful. A couple more things before we go. I donate to animal charities. If you've been here before, you know that I search for products and services having to do with dogs and cats that I recommend on my website, PeopleLovingAnimalscom. I search for the best quality, the best price, the best deals, and the best information. And then whatever companies or products that I do want to recommend on my website, I apply to that company to be an affiliate so that whenever I refer people to that product or that service, I get a small commission for referring them. It's called an affiliate commission, and that's how I do PeopleLovingAnimalscom as my full-time job. Now, I give 10% of all of the commissions that I earn on my website and this YouTube channel to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, PeopleLovingAnimalscom, you'll see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. Now, for example, I'm giving you a link in the description box to purchase a harness for your dog on Amazon. If you go through with my link and you purchase, whether you purchase the dog harness or anything you purchase while you're in there, if you went in with my link, I will get a small commission and I will donate 10% of that commission to animal charities. Okay. So before we go, if this video is helpful to you, please give it a like. It really helps YouTubers when you do that. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm doing a video about once a week all about the health and care and training of dogs and cats. I would love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my email list, either for dog lovers or for cat lovers. Don't forget to click the link in the description box to get that list of the common reasons why your dog might be coughing. And please feel free to come back and comment on this video. I would like to know, how'd you make out with your dog? Did you take your dog to the vet for this issue? Did it turn out to be collapsed trachea? Did your vet give any more ideas that we could share in the comment section of this video as to how to help our dogs with this issue? And if you would like to, I would love it so much if you get your dog a harness. Take a picture of your dog in the harness and email it to me. Just reply to any of the emails that you get from PeopleLovingAnimalscom. I would love to see your dog in their brand new harness. They really are cute. So again, thanks so much for dropping by. I hope that this has helped you. My name is Deborah, and my website is PeopleLovingAnimalscom. Thanks again. Bye-bye.